Saints first, of course. Number 1, Beavers. Number 2, Ledger. Number 3, Lachlan. 4, Halliwell. 5, McCormick. 6, Clark. 7, Holding. 8, Farber. 9, Liptrot. 10, Platt. 11, Around. 12, Haggerty. 13, Arkwright. Substitutes for today: 14, Sean Allen. 15, Tony Burke. As ever, takes it right. Beats one man, goes through on his own. Lovely dummy by Liptrot. Saints in numbers here. Haggerty streaming through. Clark on his left. No! Clark soaring through. Brilliant break by Liptrot there. Onto Roy Haggerty. Onto Brett Clark. He got through, but was held down by the Carlisle defence. Saints take a quick tap penalty. Over to Neil Holding. Inside to Lachlan. Lachlan going through on his own, yes. And a brilliant try to the right of the post. Quick play the ball onto Andy Platt. Andy Platt running hard. Brought down now. Saints have to make the most of this attack. Out to Neil Holding. Knocked it out back. Farber on the burst. Farber going through. Out to McCormick. Lovely slip ball as Farber was going down. Out to Kevin McCormick. And he goes over in the corner. From Paul Farber. Takes it right to Chris Arkwright. Chris Arkwright dummies. Inside. Andy Platt again inside. Tries to get the ball out. Knocked down by the Carlisle man. All on. Saints in possession, 6 more tackles, 20 yards from the line. We'll have to make this count. Arkwright plays it to himself. Gains another valuable 5 yards. Neil Holding now. Takes it right, out to Round, to Phil Beavers up in support. And Lachlan stumbles, falls over and touches down in the corner. To Neil Holding, inside to Roy Haggerty. Brushes one off, unloads out to Kevin McCormick. Straight up the touchline. Brilliant run by Kevin McCormick. Tries to go on his own where he perhaps should have given it inside to Steve Halliwell in support. Anyway, Brett Clark, acting halfback, takes it out to Holding. Holding looking for the way through. Pushes off one, still going on his own. Holding, jinking through. Out to Brett Clark, little short ball to Brett Clark. It's finally bundled down by Carlisle props, Robinson and Scott. Saints now, Neil Holding, little cross high kick for Paul Round, but just too deep. The ball goes dead. Saints again, take it right. Over to Round, to Paul Lachlan, stretching his legs. Brilliant Lachlan, brilliant, still going this ball. Oh, look at that. Still going, still stood up. Lack of support there. Brilliant 40-yard run by Paul Lachlan. Once Ledger gets his legs going, there's hardly any stopping. Anyway, Saints win the scrum. Bring it out. Beavers up in the line. Out to Brett Clark. Jinx up and down. Brett Clark still going. Brought down 15 yards short to Saints line. Saints over now to Paul Round. He decides to go inside. Unloads out to Chris Arkwright. Chris Arkwright trying to dummy through. Referee shouts held. Steve Halliwell, acting halfback. Taking it left to Graham Liptrot. Little short pass on to Roy Haggerty. Tried to unload, but it was brought down. There's Haggerty plays on to Holding. Out to Andy Platt. Inside to Neil Holding. Looking for the way through. Just gets over to the left of the post. Neil Holding runs up to acting halfback position. Graham Liptrot inside to Roy Haggerty. In full flight. Looks to unload to Brett Clark. Brett Clark going forward. Looks to get through. Oh, brilliant ball by Clark. Out to Halliwell. How we got that ball out, I do not know. But you'll have no mistake with Halliwell in the clear. To Graham Liptrot. Arkwright. Neil Holding. It's a short ball onto Paul Farber. Well taken by Farber there. It's a rather high ball. Still going, Paul Farber. They can't get this fella down. Looking to unload the ball. Referee finally shouts held. Brilliant run there by Paul Farber. Out to Paul Lachlan. Andy Platt along the line. Neil Holding. Liptrot. Chris Arkwright. Siding through. Looking to unload. Scott has him. Steve Halliwell now. So Graham Liptrot. Little kick through by Liptrot. He's only waiting for it. He was just on about it. Oh, brilliant, brilliant Saints. Lovely kick through by Liptrot for Phil Beavers. Nastily put down there by number 11 Kirby, but anyway, there's the half-time hooter.
Liptrot again working the blind side to Andy Platt in the centre position. Platt looking for support. Finds Barrie Ledger. And Ledger, like any wingman worth his salt, does the business. Brett Clark working the blind side. Roy Haggerty Good take by Forber there. Tony Burke. That's Neil Holding. Typical run from Neil Holding. Roy Haggerty taking them on himself, offloads. Holding, Clark, lip trot. Arkwright fends them away. Chris Arkwright looks for the support. Well, leaving a trail of despondent Carlisle tacklers in his wake. Desperately looking for runners. Neil Holding retrieves. Bill Beavers now looking to set an attack going. Chris Arkwright, an orthodox passing movement was on for a moment. Roy Haggerty, and there's the inevitable Steve Halliwell. Well, this lad's certainly getting on the end of things this afternoon. Pens Milton Huddertoft. Chris Arkwright. Andy Platt looking for support. Tried the mismove there. Barrie Ledger now. Going backwards to go forwards, as it were. And Graham Liptrot. Brett Clark. Well, Brett Clark slithering his way through. Now Saints looking for more points. Barrie Ledger goes inside. So nearly breaking through Barrie Ledger. Tremendous run. Neil Holding, acting halfback, scoots through by himself. Chris Arkwright. Well, really, you know, you're not going to stop Chris Arkwright from there, 1-to-1. No way on this earth. Carlisle to try and bury the kick-off with a short kick. Graham Liptrot's alive to it. Brett Clark now to Paul Forber. Paul Forber straightens up. Inside to Phil Beavers. Back to Forber again. Steve Halliwell. Halliwell has support, but he goes himself. Well, this is tick rugby now. Saints trying to sweep this ball right now. Liptrot. Ball forward, trying to surge through. Oh, so close. Liptrot. Holding, jinks, and goes under the sticks.
74 points to 0.
Well, I think you're right, Ron. That is the record, in fact. Set as long ago as 1924. Arguably a lot easier today with a 4-point try, but even so. One survivor of that 1924 team. Still alive, of course, George Lewis. It's in the days even before the legendary Alf Ellaby. Paul Laughlin dummies to Tony Burke. Carlisle forward left, trying to rip Burke's head off. Roy Haggerty runs wide, finds the gap. Looking for support. The ball to Barrie Ledger. Thank you and good night. Well, plenty of time still remaining. What can Saints do? $78-0. Ball round. Shakes. The attempted tackle is off. Now Brett Clark weaving his magic. Tunstall half tackles him. Sets the Saints up again. Liptrot. Tony Burke. Neil Holding to run with the ball. Holding to Beavers. Beavers dummies. Tries to force his way through. Sean Allen. Still going. Graham Liptrot. Will he try and dummy his way over? Well, you sell those at Mothercare, Graham. Andy Platt. Taking them on. A good tackle there by Langton. Saints need another try. Paul Forber. Laughlin. Fending one off. Oh, a great ball inside to Barrie Ledger. Oh, great rugby. Great rugby. Tony Burke, listen to this crowd. Who said there's no motivation against teams like this? Andy Platt, look at this support. Oh, referee MacDonald has given the forward pass. Objective as ever, Neil Holding like a jackrabbit. Crowd urging him on, can he go? Yes he can. Oh, what a great try from Neil. Great try, Neil Holding. Ball pops out to the tackle, Andy Platt. Crowd roaring them on here, there's motivation now. Well, Barrie Ledger. Barrie Ledger. Barrie Ledger's going under the sticks. What a superb score. What a superb score from Barrie Ledger. Well, Saints get the penalty. Well, the one consolation really for Carlisle, they played the game in a fine spirit. Tony Burke crashing through. Oh my word. They go on to tumble all the records in sight. Paul Forber collects, takes them on. Graham Liptrot. Andy Platt, full of running, Andy Platt. Kevin McCormick. Brilliant ball inside to Neil Holding. My word. Well, a chorus of boos there for Paul Laughlin. And there goes the final hooter. Well, Ron, what do you think about that?
A brilliant display. Saints backed up really tremendously. 32-0 at half-time. As we say, 80 points. 80 points this second half. Brilliant. 20 tries and 16 goals. Records gone no end.